So it's no secret that I'm quite a big Borderlands fan, and guys, we are 6 days away from the release of Borderlands 4, and so I thought to commemorate this exciting time while waiting for Borderlands 4 to come out, I'm gonna try and kill a raid boss every single day until Borderlands 4 comes out. So this is another day of killing one raid boss a day until Borderlands 4 releases. Let's get into it. And welcome back to the wheel of our remaining raid bosses. Let's give it a spin to see who we will be fighting today. And today's raid boss, is it really going to be Eista? Are we going to have to do Eista again? Okay, Eista it is. Personally, I actually like Eista. I do not think he is a good raid boss. Let me load up Borderlands 3 and continue my train of thought. And here we are inside of Borderlands 3. Let's play our Amara today, I think. So we will load in and teleport our way over to Eista. So, Eista is in the Xylurgos, the Guns, Love and Tentacles DLC, and we are heading over to Skittermore Basin, and over to Clan Amaret, or Clan Amaretti? Don't know how you pronounce it. Don't really care how you pronounce it. Yeah, like I was saying before, Eista, I actually do like him as a character. I think he's a pretty cool character. I think the interactions that we have with him, with our Vault Hunter during the story of this DLC, is pretty good, and I like the way that you do these 3 different side missions, feeding him these various things, like a mushroom, like some spicy balls.
What?
All that sort of stuff. I like the way you do that, and then, like, by the 3rd quest, he becomes a raid boss. I think that's super cool. I think it's a really nice way to do it. Fighting this guy every time, and he just kind of progressively gets stronger and stronger. I think that's a really cool way of doing things. What I don't like so much is how Eista is a really easy raid boss, probably the easiest raid boss, maybe in like the entire franchise. He is, yeah, a bit of a pushover, doesn't really do a lot of mechanics-wise, and also doesn't have masses of HP compared to some of the things in Borderlands 3. This guy sits at around about 1.1 billion HP, which is definitely not nothing. There is a decent amount of HP, more than a lot of the regular bosses, but definitely not really raid boss level, especially when you can get some absolute disgusting damage churn outs in Borderlands 3 like we can. Regardless, they did end up taking away his invincible name, which I'm not a big fan of. I think he used to be called Eista the Invincible, now he's just called Eista for some unknown reason, and I think they should have left it on there. Even if he isn't the hardest raid boss going, I still think he should have kept his raid boss name. There he is down there looking all menacing with his double hammers. Regardless, today we are playing Amara, and our build today is going to be focused around a single weapon, and that is the Blade Fury. Now, this Blade Fury was unlocked via the Vault Card Bunker Masters, and it's the second one across here. You can reroll this, and as soon as you've rolled it once, then if you reroll it next time, it can roll with anointments on it, so it is a bit annoying. You need 10 keys to do it, but once you get some anointments, this weapon can become absolutely insane. Now, the special thing about this weapon is it shoots knives that deal weapon damage and melee damage. So you can see if I shoot this, it's going to shoot a knife. You see that knife there? This gun shoots knives. I know, how original. It's pretty awesome. Not going to lie, I'm a big fan of it. And those knives deal weapon and melee damage. Of course, we are on Amara right now. And you might know by now a thing or two about Amara, and that's that she scales melee damage very, very well, especially into the Mayhem levels. So for the weapon setup, like I say, we are just going to be using the Blade Fury. I have one standard Blade Fury, and then I have one Masher variant. So for 2 different uses. Normally, the Masher is just generally going to be a better idea, but the standard one, maybe for some long-range stuff, is pretty good as well. We are using the Revolter, of course, giving us our 200% bonus shock damage and 50% bonus fire rate whenever our shield breaks or fills, and we have our on-action skill start. Any effects that trigger on shield break or fill are done, so every time we use our action skill, we're going to be gaining this massive increase in damage. We have the Fish Slap Grenade on for big melee damage, but I'm actually probably not going to use it. I'm only going to use it for the action skill and bonuses here. I'm not actually going to throw a Fish Slap because that would actually delete Eista in one, as we've seen many times before. We have the Spiritual Driver, meaning that whenever we use our action skill, we apply an element to ourselves, and our gun damage is boosted while we are moving. Now, because this deals gun damage and melee damage, this is going to benefit off our fast movement speed, and it's also going to benefit off all of our melee stacking, which we have in our skill trees here. Now, we are part of the way down the red tree. We want things like Illuminated Fist for that bonus melee damage. 1 point into Infusion, because the way that Infusion actually works is this 8% converted damage. This actually doubles our number of projectiles, so that means every single time we are firing twice the amount of projectiles, which is obviously just amazing. Even if they only deal 8% damage, just getting double the amount of projectiles is kind of insane. We have increased handling and accuracy. We have elemental damage and shock damage. Bonus gun damage if an enemy is phase grasped. Can't really phase grasp anything right now, but for general mobbing, this is a really good skill. Amara's bullets are going to ricochet. Again, we're not really going to get that much of that. We have ties that bind. That's what we're going to be using normally from our mobbing, but for the raid boss, this isn't really going to matter either, but I probably will just keep it on for now. We are spec'd halfway down into the green tree for a lot of our melee damage bonuses. We have bonus melee damage here. We have mindfulness, giving us movement speed and shield recharge delay. Damage reduction here, splash damage. Bonus damage up close, which is just fantastic because this is going to apply to all types of damage. We have clarity, giving us some health regen just for a bit of survivability. All the way down into the pink tree, because the pink tree is going to give us a bunch of different melee bonuses, as well as a few other amazing skills. Have bonus melee damage here. Reload speed, which is just great. Projectile and splash damage, amazing. Lifesteal here with ebb and flow. Because we're using an exclusive melee damage weapon, this is actually going to be a very beneficial skill for us, giving us basically invulnerability because of the amount of lifesteal we're going to be getting. We have reset whenever we kill an enemy with melee damage. Of course, all of our kills are coming from melee damage because of the weapon that we are using. We have burning at both ends, meaning that we gain increased threat and so increased damage when we use our action skill. Body and Mind is an amazing skill. I've showcased it before with things like the Face Puncher, which is going to give us these splash damage AoEs. And these are kind of proc on every single melee damage that happens. And so if we're using something like a Masher Blade Fury, that's 4 lots of melee damage happening. So that's 4 splash explosions. Plus, we have the bonus 4 from our infusion here, so that's 8 splash explosions. And all of these say that they do 5,000 damage. This is a lie. This gets boosted by everything that boosts splash damage, like here, Heavy Rain, and also stuff like Arms Deal as well. That is further going to boost this damage. So this skill is actually ridiculously overpowered on Amara. Gaining increased skill damage is pretty good because that's going to proc more stuff with Ties That Bind, more a mobbing thing than anything else. And Clear the Mind, going to ignore elemental resistances, again, more mobbing than bossing, really. Next skill, we are halfway down the blue tree. Now, you know me, I love to normally get down to the bottom of the blue tree because I think the blue tree is one of her strongest trees. But unfortunately, we can't afford the skill point investment right now, so we are slotted into Do Harm, giving us more action skill damage, reload speed and weapon swap speed here, crit damage, and of course, all of our action skill augments increased. Basically, going to give us a little bit extra cooldown with our augment here. This normally gives us 30% cooldown, and it's going to give us a little bit extra, meaning that we have Ties of Bind up as much as we possibly can. Once again, more for mobbing than it is for bossing. Regardless, this build is still plenty strong enough to take out some bosses. So with all that out of the way, let's jump into Eista and see if we can take him down. I am just going to pop a phase lock, even though we're not really going to be able to do much with it. And I'll just start chunking him down with our blades here. Now, unfortunately, like we were saying for this build, this is more of a mobbing focused build. The boss damage is not terrible, as you can see. But if we can get all of those kill skills stacked up and stuff, this is where the build really shines. Regardless, I'm sick of just one-shotting Eista with pretty much anything I do. So I figure might as well take him out with something a little bit more balanced-wise. But you can still see this guy has over 1 billion HP. And we are chunking him down pretty nicely here. And we are not matching elements whatsoever. I should have a corrosive element on right now. But unfortunately, I don't because I'm a bit of a fool. There we go. There's his armor out the way. Taking him down. And you can see the power of this Smasher variant. I will swap to the regular one. It has more base damage, but... Oh, look at that. I chunked him down super fast. See, fire versus flesh, and this guy's getting absolutely cooked. Has more fire and stuff, but I do generally like the Masher variant a little bit more. Regardless, that was a good SLASS Eista. Even though you didn't actually hit me a single time.
Help yourself to my armory, Guido. For, as you recall, we are friends.
We are friends. We are friends, Eista. Even though you are a pretty sad raid boss, I still love you, man. I still love you, dude. So, yeah, this is the Blade Fury Amara build. This weapon is super strong on a bunch of different Vault Hunters, but really shines if you can jack up the melee damage on Amara like before. And, like I was saying, if you want to use this build, I wouldn't necessarily suggest using it for bossing. This is much more of a mobbing monster build. But as you saw then, Eista has 1 billion HP, and it can really get the job done. Even if we don't have anything to activate our kill skills or anything like that, this build still cooks them pretty hard. But with all that said and done, that's another day, another raid boss defeated. We are like under a week away till Borderlands 4. I cannot wait. I'm super excited, and I will see you tomorrow for another raid boss kill. Bye-bye.
Such